stay a while and listen.
And welcome to Agony of Positivity Podcast, AOP Podcast. Something else that starts with AOP that I do not have ready. I am Ross, and with me today, as pretty much always,
Saul or Bacon Sticks.
Yes. I couldn't remember what it was, if it was Bacon Sticks or what, so I couldn't. We mess with your name a lot.
If I didn't listen to the podcast this morning, I probably wouldn't have remembered Bacon Sticks.
I might have if bacon came up.
Sure.
Let me see here.
Speaking of which, just randomness.
Yeah.
I was driving today, and I drove by a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
You know they sell like an actual like a little container, just bacon to go.
That seems unnecessary.
Yeah, I thought that amused me.
Well, like bacon is all the rage.
Sure.
So other than discovering the so were you going through Dunkin' Donuts? Is that how you discovered that, or did they advertise that?
No, I was driving the carpet cleaning van, and I drove by a Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, they were advertising that. So yeah, they were advertising it, but I didn't see it like a commercial.
Right. They just had like a sticker or something up on the window.
Yeah.
Or marker drawing or something. So, any other excitement or anything for your week?
Well, also on my journey today, I saw this beer truck, and I sent you a text.
Yeah, well, you sent me a audio file, and
yes.
I was working, and the machine was running, so it was fairly loud. So I tried to listen to this audio thing, and I'm like, you tell me something that you wanted to talk about on the podcast, but I was like, I can't be hearing that right, because that doesn't sound like a real thing. Like, I don't know if anyone else experiences it when you hear someone say something, but you don't know what they said, and your brain just autofills, and you end up with something that's just totally wrong. That's what happens to me a lot. So I listened to it multiple times and was like, I'm just not hearing this right. So I will let you.
Yeah, so I was on the highway, and this beer truck drives right beside me, and I read the name on it, and I was like, and I did a double take. I was like, surely it's not called that, but yeah, Ass Clown Beer.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
It is Ass Clown Brewing. They are out of North Carolina, it looks like.
Okay.
Let's go to their website. This is great for audio, but it just looks weird. Like they got a brewery and bar, so it had like a clown looking straight up laughing, but it's hard to tell what the logo actually is at a glance.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're listening, Ass Clown Brewing, your logo is hard to read. The guy working on the website, he's in a red shirt. Looks like he's doing hops or something for the beer making. He looks very happy. He's a bald guy with a beard, so I feel a kinship to him immediately.
So I found that amusing. I was like, yeah, that's what's called Ass Clown Beer.
I'm looking, because I drink some beer, but I'm pretty picky about it. I like, Samuel Smith does like a chocolate beer that I think's very good.
Samuel Smith?
Yes.
Like, are you trying to say Samuel Adams, or is
No,
there another beer called
it is
Samuel
actually
Smith?
Samuel Smith.
Okay.
They do that. They have an oatmeal stout and some other stuff.
Okay.
Otherwise, just like I'll drink Bud Light, it doesn't matter. They have quite the selection of beers here. Goodness, I'm looking at their beer list.
Yeah.
They have a dark chocolate blueberry stout. I don't know what I think about that. Dark chocolate peanut butter. Dark chocolate sea salt. So they got some chocolate options there.
Yeah.
They got one called Go Reap Yourself. It is made with a Carolina Reaper, apparently.
Yeah.
I I have no desire to try that. Apparently they have 53 different beers. So one of them is called Experimental Clown IPA. Clown around. I'm looking to see.
They're doubling down on the clownness, I guess.
I'm okay with that. Like if you're gonna give yourself a gimmick, go hard. They have a habanero brown ale. I'm looking here. Let's see. Needs the Clown, a fruit-forward Flanders red, Belgian style, basically. Any other? Scared of clowns? It's a mixture. Orange blossom honey. I wish they had a mead, because I'm hipster and I like mead. So, a smoked Scotch ale. I'm going to tell you something. I know you don't drink hardly at all. If you ever see a beer that's talking about any kind of combination of Scotch or whiskey beer or anything like that,
okay,
garbage. Now, I'm sure there's someone who has strong opinions the other way, but I have never had a hard liquor style beer do anything good. Now, this sounds like something you might actually like. A vanilla raspberry.
Yeah.
So,
My First Christmas might be pretty good. A rich spice brown ale. I don't know. Oh,
I see it. Yeah. Brown, an amber. I don't know. I mean, at this point, if I'm at the liquor store for some reason and I see one of these, now that we've spent 6 minutes talking about this brewery, I'm going to try one. So we're definitely going to tag them, and maybe they will sponsor us somehow. I don't know how that works. But,
I mean, they're...
but their name, so I guess this does show their name stuck with you enough to bring it up for us to talk about it.
Yes. So who knows?
Now, we're not going to promise that it's good or bad, because neither one of us has tried anything, but... you guys might get a trip report in the coming weeks if I find one. So it is interesting that it says it's from Cornelius, North Carolina, and they were all the way in the Cincinnati area, basically.
Yeah, around there. Yeah, who knows?
So, all right, well, good for them. Their tactics are working. Anything else exciting?
No, not really.
Okay, so I have almost nothing other than people have been driving around me like idiots. I've talked about Prius rage, where people just can't handle being passed by a Prius, so they get super weird about their driving on the highway. I experienced that on the way to work, and then at work driving the work van, which is a fairly large size vehicle. I was trying to follow one of our other dudes to drop a van off to be worked on. Well, the timing, you're following someone and the light turns yellow and it's like they can make it and there's no way you can, so you have to stop and then you just try to catch up to them.
Sure, yeah.
There was a Hyundai Elantra, and if I did not know better, I would say they were purposely trying to sabotage me getting back up to the person I was trying to follow. They matched speed with me, like they were beside me. But I had a semi that I had to try to get around on, not like this interstate, but like a normal, kind of like a 55-mile-an-hour highway kind of area. And they matched speed. I couldn't get in front of them, and I couldn't slow down to get behind them. Like, they just stayed matched with me. So I eventually, hard brake and get behind them. There's no one else really around. So that's the other thing that made it stick out to me. Basically, for 3 miles, all I'm trying to do is get around this car. And every time they're either getting back over in front of me trying to avoid stuff on their own, but their speed is always matched to me. So it makes it even worse. And it went on, it just took forever. And then I eventually got it, but it just stuck out to me between the other stuff. It's like, man, this is dumb. And then this won't really fit into the show anywhere, but you'll probably already know where I'm going with this. But have you worked, this is more a work with people issue than your friends. Work with someone who just, their sense of humor just is not good or doesn't work. So we have a guy at our job that has a sense of humor, but there are nuances to sense of humor
Yeah.
that this guy does not necessarily pick up on sometimes. And I often sit and wonder, like, so does he just think, like, man, Russ just says really weird stuff sometimes, not realizing that it's a joke kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, and you probably run into the same thing that I do, where, like, you'll say something that's a very dry delivery. Like, you don't put, like, or the other is, it's hilarious, and you're actually laughing as you say it, so it's an obvious joke. But there's, like, I don't have a lot of middle ground. It's either, I think it's funny, but I'm just going to say it, or it's so funny that I'm laughing.
So depending on my mood, if I say if I say a joke that I think it's funny, they don't laugh, I will be like, hey, that was a joke. why aren't you laughing? So I try to make
like, not only was
bad.
but like, that was a joke, and it was a good one. Well,
And then they feel bad. They're like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that's a joke.
So there was a joke I told my wife when I got home, and she laughed, but she understands the lack of sense of humor, or I don't even know if it's a lack, just doesn't get the type of sense of humor that I or you have. So we had to go to, like, we're in Ohio, but we had to do a job over in Kentucky. And the entire day, as soon as I knew we were going to Kentucky, I was like, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to tell him, like, I'm not actually allowed in Kentucky due to warrants or something like that, like making a joke. And I was like, he's not going to understand that that's a hilarious joke to tell. I'm not going to do it. So all day I fought doing it. And then even at the end of the day, I was about to be like, man, I'm glad we made it out of Kentucky okay, because legally I'm not allowed to be there. And I never did it because...
Oh, you should have done it.
He wouldn't... I do not know... There is...
Makes it even better.
It's like flipping a coin. Like, that one I feel 50-50. He would have realized it was, or he would actually be suspicious that I had some kind of a warrant for my arrest, and I couldn't go to the state of Kentucky. But, like, I told my wife about it, like, anyone who's been in a situation like that, where someone that they don't know you very well that you can do, that's hilarious, right? Like, that's a funny joke.
Yeah, I would have laughed.
So, but it just drove me crazy, because that's like a nothing comment. Like, I should be able to make that joke and not even think about it. But it was an entire day of me debating, should I make this joke? Because I don't know how if he'll get that it's a joke. So that was my day. Like, that was the biggest concern of my day.
You just go with it. At this point, I don't care if I offend people or not. So
Right. Well, it wasn't like an offense thing, but I don't want to sit there and have someone think I'm some kind of wanted criminal and they're stuck with me in a vehicle. So, but yeah, that's about all I've done all week. Other than I'm currently debating spending $75 to get some chicken wings delivered on DoorDash.
$75?
No, it feels like that because they add like the charges. Like, what would normally be like $25 turns into $35 real quick with DoorDash.
Okay, so how much do they charge you? I've never done DoorDash.
It varies because you end up tipping, which I'm okay with because I've done the tipping job, so it doesn't really bother me. So you usually end up tipping like around $5 or so.
Okay.
I usually tip more for BW3s because I hate going to BW3s to pick up food where I live.
Yeah.
It is the worst experience ever. So I will usually tip more than $5 for sure, just because the reason I am willing to pay extra for DoorDash is I want wings from BW3s, but I don't want to go there, so I will pay them extra. So it ends up costing me like $10 more than it should for sure.
Gotcha.
Plus whatever DoorDash fees are and all that kind of stuff.
Now,
so
do you think that driver can save you as a contact, or does it not how that works?
I'm not sure, because you can message them for sure, but I don't know if it sends it through their actual phone or if it does like a like a VPN type deal where it auto generates a magic DoorDash phone number. I have no idea.
Gotcha.
Because I think they can do it through the app. So it might be something where, because I've gotten text messages from them before, but it shows up as a number. It's never been a number that matches the city that I live in, like the area code and all that stuff. But that could just be because it's done through DoorDash for confidentiality. So, because you know there'd be the guy who has a girl who delivers and he's convinced that she's in love with him and starts psychotexting. So,
that's 100% what would happen. So.
Or the reverse, where they deliver to a girl, like, or guy. I mean, I guess it can go either way, but I'm more prone to think guys are going to be the aggressor in that situation more often than not, just based on people that I've known.
Experience being around guys. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. And they would have no idea that they're being a creep. So
anyway, you want to
let's move.
Go off to a subject, or do we want to keep boring people with our?
I don't know. I'm pretty entertained by this stuff. So let's do some video game stuff.
Okay.
I am going to hit the button. Here we go.
Get over here! Time's up. Let's do this.
All right. So, the big thing to talk about is our favorite, most hated game ever, Conan Exiles. But before we get to the main course, you've been trying to unlock in World of Warcraft what you keep calling them, the raccoon people.
Raccoon, fox, yeah.
They're more fox to me, but Vulpera on the Horde side. Now, are you losing your mind where you're going to try to play Horde again?
To be honest with you, I probably never played this character. It just bugs me that I don't have it unlocked. So
okay, that's fair.
Unlock it. Yeah.
Because I was going to say, like, I've seen your backyard. There's an awful lot of sticks about there. All you got to do is take the hose, just spray down some area. You can roll in that mud, grab some sticks, just act all savage, and that's basically real life Horde.
Yep. So I'm almost exalted. I don't know where that takes me. I probably have to do like a short little quest line, probably.
Now I'm going to ask you a question, and this might cause some rage. Do you know that when Shadowlands comes, that you're just going to have the allied races unlocked?
Yeah, but you still have to do the achievement. So.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I've stopped anything that would be any kind of rep grind as a result of that.
Well, they have a 100% boost going until the October.
Okay.
I'm literally doing nothing in World of Warcraft, so I mean, why not?
Right. I haven't logged in for a while, because I'm not going to get the long boy. Are you still working on getting the auction house mount?
No, I just gave up on it.
Okay. How far did you get?
I think I'm at 3 million.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only 2 million away.
Sure. I'm not. I mean, could I do it? Maybe, but I'm spending like way too much time.
Right.
Every day, and I really don't want to be. So.
I will log in later and see how much gold I have, because you're close enough that I would give you my gold just so you could get it.
Unless you have 1 million, I mean, it's not gonna matter.
I should have like a good chunk. I will check and find out. I don't know if I have I certainly don't have 1 million, but I thought I had like a decent chunk. But I will check just because you're close enough that it might be where you just lose your mind and you're like, you know what? I have to do this, and then you just don't sleep for 2 days. That'd be awesome. You should definitely go that route.
Yes.
Myself, I have not played Fall Guys again because Hearthstone did a Battlegrounds update, so I've been trying to get the new heroes. It feels better. Like, I complained for a while there, a couple months at least, about Murlocs and Battlegrounds.
Yes.
And it doesn't feel nearly as bad now. And the games I was playing the other day, now it might be people are trying out the new stuff, or who knows, maybe matchmaking was broke, I don't know. But I like the feel of it a little bit better. Haven't been playing too much Constructed, but there's actually decks that are appealing to me. So there's that. Decent amount. I was actually playing before we started recording Tony Hawk And man, I still love Tony Hawk. It's great. I actually was playing some levels on Tony Hawk Part 2 this time. Like, I've stuck exclusively to 1. I was going to try to finish it out and then move to 2, but I got impatient. I wanted to play the Tony Hawk 2 levels. So, I don't know. Let's see here. So, Conan Exiles. Do you have anything else to add to anything, or are you ready to move on?
No, yeah, we can talk about Conan.
All right. So, if for some reason, if you're listening to this brand new, we've talked over time an awful lot about Conan Exiles. It is one of those survival style MMO type games. We played a whole lot of it back in the day, so to say, and we acknowledge that this game has had, I don't know if it does currently because I haven't played it for a while, the amount of bugs and weird interactions you get was one of the most frustrating things ever. But the overall playing of the game was enjoyable enough that we persevered through that until we didn't. And then we stopped. But you've played it more than me. But now it looks like they are adding the Isle of Siptah.
Yep.
So now it's been said before where they had no way to add landmass to this game, or like no new maps, basically, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm understanding. Yeah.
Right. I mean, wasn't that on one of the actual developer videos that they did?
Well, yeah, like the beginning of, I guess when they first released it, they said that they couldn't add to it because of whatever code. But they also said that about they couldn't add
Mounts,
and they did that. So who knows, man?
Right. Well, it feels like, and I could be wrong, I'm not super familiar with Funcom. It seems like this is one of the few games that Funcom has kept up, so to say. Like, where they've developed an awful lot of stuff for this. So I don't know if they just have a dedicated enough of a fan base that buys everything, or what it is. But, so they got this 3.5 minute hype video, basically?
Yeah, I'd say it's a hype.
And
hype video.
Yeah, so I watched it, and it's real strange that they have Ice Crown Citadel in the middle of a desert in this game. But there's basically, if you're not familiar, that's the Lich King's tower in Warcraft. It's basically just like a giant tower that probably has some kind of evil that lives at the top of it, or it summons things from the sky. That was something that made me laugh because, so this tower, it opens a portal at one point, and it's talking about where you can get thralls, basically people that you enslave to do your bidding, kind of like work on your crafting or whatever. But it opened up, and it has these people falling from the sky. And the first thing I thought was 100% the first bug that is going to experience is anything that falls is going to take falling damage and is going to be dead.
Yes.
I 100% expect the first time one of those opens, everything's dead that falls.
Oh,
Like, did that actually go through your mind when you saw it?
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah. Or what'll happen is
They'll just float
they'll
there.
they'll just float in the air, and they'll be archers just kill you because you can't get a hold of them.
Right. So that's our experience of the nuisances of the game at times.
Yes.
Something else in the very beginning of this video, it makes it sound like if you're playing in this isle, that you're starting a brand new character.
Yeah.
Now, considering I literally just watched this before we started, have you had time to do any research to find out if that's the case?
I have not, but considering the end game is basically you reset your character.
Yeah.
It would not be. I would not be shocked if you lose everything if you go into this expansion.
Right, which is fine for someone like myself who would just start a new character.
Sure.
But the thing is,
not for people who have big mountains of like
Right. Well, the thing
castle
is,
on it,
it's early access on September 15th. So we're
Yeah.
less than, we're 5 days, 6 days away, 4 days. We're some number of days that is less than a week away
Yeah.
from finding out exactly how it works.
Uh-huh.
However, yeah, if you have like a super advanced character, there's no way you would do that. Like, that's going to make them angry.
Yes.
But also, like, it seems weird because, like, so for me, as soon as I saw this start, I was like, oh, this actually looks like something I'd want to play, for sure. Like, it looks like some new stuff, more exploring, because that was one of the fun things, was exploring and finding stuff. But then I was like, oh, well, I could start a new character now, and I'm sure I could level pretty easily if I just put some effort into it, and be ready for this thing. But then I was like, wait, do you have to start a new character to do this? Because if that's the case, I don't want to waste my time playing in the old world that is broken beyond all belief, and your possessions just randomly disappear.
So I played Conan Exiles at the beginning of the whole COVID and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a lot better than what it was when we played it with, I guess, beta, even though it was live.
I would go friends and family alpha at times.
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy when we was playing. So it's a lot better. So I don't know.
Well, I've jumped in a few times here and there, but again, stuff that I've built disappears over the course of like a day.
Sure.
And it makes me so mad and I know that it's likely to happen again, so I just can't commit.
When we play this, I want you to videotape everything, record everything, because I want to see the rage.
Oh man!
That you have.
Well, what's going to be funny is something's going to happen where they show these like big. It's kind of like Lovecraftian, I guess it would be, like Cthulhu and all that, like tentacle type monsters. But it shows the player characters in the video are getting ready to shoot them with an arrow.
Yes.
It's like, something that big better not be able to die to an arrow.
Yes. I was kind of wondering the same thing too. It's like, why do they keep showing these guys shooting an arrow at them?
Yeah, there's definitely some weird things about it. I mean, I'm 100% going to spend money on this thing.
Sure.
I'll probably regret it and be like, man, I should have just got another order of wings from BW3s on DoorDash or something.
Yes.
But the fondness that I had of the initial part of the first time we were playing through this game, still, it's like that, I won't kick you down the stairs again this time. I promise it'll be different. But it's going to be the same. Like, I know it's going to be the same. Like, that's what I expect. But I'm going to hope that if it is a whole new landmass and you're not even on the old map, maybe they cleaned up some stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Or so, Funcom LOL.
Regardless, I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, so it'll be interesting. I can't wait to... I'll have to go to the Conan Exiles Reddit on September 15th and just look for the rage threads. They're like, Cthulhu monster picked me up and threw me into the sky, but now I'm floating and my character's permanently stuck in the air. And then you'll just have like 15 people be like, same. Time to restart.
I liked how you made that big tower, because your body, you died and you was trying to get your body and you had to make a big tower. It was great.
Physics are a mystery. Gravity had not fully been discovered in the age of Conan. Clearly. Yes. Did you notice, like, so, I'm going to be picky here and giving Conan a hard time. So, on the Conan Exiles Isle of Siptah, where it has, like, PC early access September 15th, you have the ICC tower in the background here. But the Conan is standing there pointing with his sword in almost the Arthas Lich King stance. So if you look at like one of the posters, now granted, if you're pointing with a sword, there's only so many ways that you can do that. But the two things, like, I can't not identify them as the Lich King.
Yeah, the whole trailer. If I'm being picky and being critical with them, it looks like Rift or Shadowlands
Combined, yeah, meets
yes.
Conan, which would actually
Yeah.
probably be pretty good if you could combine those
Sure.
into a coherent game. But all right, so yeah, so expect to hear from us about this. So Funcom, get your stuff together, because I'm
Yes.
I'm ready to type angry things and actually submit it this time.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to move on to TV or anything like that?
I mean, I watch a lot of old movies, so if you want to talk about old movies, we can.
What? Let's not commit to anything too much here. What did you watch for old movies?
So I watched all the Avengers movies.
So basically the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So I watched all the way up. I don't watch the Thanos ones. I just watched the first Avengers, and then I watched Ultron.
Ultron.
I watched the Age of Ultron. That never happened.
Yeah.
It was advertised as the Age of Ultron, but we never got the Age of Ultron in the movie, so it was kind of weird.
Right. Yeah. I feel like we've talked enough about Avengers and that, because haven't you watched these before and we talked about it, like after the fact? And then 6 months from now we'll talk about Avengers again. But so yeah, I think we're good to move on. Is there anything else game related that you're even aware of that warrants talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move to the wrestling of the professional variety. Hold on. Here we go.
Why did Britt take her shoe off to eat that sandwich?
Using our Brit shoe one here, so it's short, in honor of her return at All Out. So funny story today.
Sure.
One of the places I was part of cleaning was actually a doctor's office, a dentist's office after hours.
Yeah.
And all I could think about was the tooth and nail match. Like walking around the dentist's office. I was like, yeah, this is not nearly as cool as you would think it would be. Although they did have the weird little stools for kids that look like teeth. That's kind of creepy.
Now, when you walked outside of the dentist's office, would you buy a football stadium?
No, I did not teleport to Jacksonville from Ohio or from Kentucky, wherever I was at.
Yes.
So let's see here. So we actually got together and watched All Out and had an entertaining time of it, I guess. So All Out feels like it's 100 years ago, so I'll just kind of hit some of this stuff. If I skip something, let me know.
Well, like generally, for the general, did you like the pay-per-view?
I think Revolution was amazing. So I think Revolution was better than this one. But overall, I enjoyed it. Because again, they only do a pay-per-view once in a while. So even though I don't think it was their best one by far, it still felt special, if that makes any sense. Like, it felt like an actual event as opposed to where we just got done with, SummerSlam and Payback literally a week apart with no build for the second one.
Yes.
Like, that doesn't... Like, WWE, like, they're what would be considered like a pay-per-view event. It just doesn't feel like one anymore at all.
No.
Like, so even the big ones, like, I'll fall asleep during them. And I have the network. I'll fall asleep. I won't actually rewatch the match to see what happened. I'll just read the results. So with AEW, if I fall asleep or something because I'm an old man, I'll actually watch it as opposed to just read the result. So, yeah. Now, granted, when you get some of the stuff they've been doing lately with WWE, we mentioned it, I think a week ago. Like, it's actually getting a few better stories here and there and some better stuff. So they are winning me back. I wish they wouldn't, because with NXT being on Tuesday, Dynamite on Thursday's the only day basically that there's not wrestling on. And whether I want, there's nothing else on for the most part. Like, I don't have normal TV, so I'm watching videos or Netflix or something like that. I'll put it on. And then it's like, what am I doing with myself?
Sure.
But yeah, so they kicked off. They had Joey Janela against Serpentico. And this was like on the buy-in and all that. So
I didn't watch that.
But yeah, so that was something. Private Party against Reynolds and Silver. It is a crime that Silvers and Reynolds have not won.
Yeah.
Their 2-count combo, where it's like 57 moves in a row, and then it's always a 2-count, that feels like that should be a finisher.
It should be, yeah.
Granted, like, they have like that, the flipping double DDT thing. I hate that move. So I wish they would get something different. Obviously, that's my own personal taste. We got Jim Ross joins commentary at this point because he's going to run amok a little bit later on and get a lot of criticism. So
yes.
We had Dr. Baker and Swole. Now, this was originally going to be on the pre-show, and then everybody lost their mind, so they moved it to the main show, which I was, to start off with, I was entertained by this. It made me laugh. At no point, I don't think they were going for like the greatest cinematic style match of all time. I think they were just doing something to have something to do, if that makes any sense. But
Yep.
So, but either way, I was entertained by it. I'm not going to say it was good. I might tell you it was bad, but I would explain that it's bad, but it's an entertaining bad.
Yeah, I would argue with you if you would have said this was good.
No. Now, if you just want to be entertained by something that really doesn't make sense, then yes, it's good. Like, because there was stuff that made me laugh, like Reba showing up with freaking banana peel on her head. It wasn't random, but it just felt that way. There were a few things that were like funny, but sounds like this was the first thing that Britt was cleared to do, so they were making something real easy.
I read that she wasn't cleared to do it.
Is that why she basically didn't take anything?
That's what now it could be wrong because it was rumors that I read, but I read that she wasn't cleared yet. So, which explains why she didn't do anything.
Right. So they were maybe they were hoping she'd be cleared, and then she just wasn't all the way there. But they're like, well, let's do something, and just end this whole thing that we've been building for way too long.
Yes.
So Swole wins there. We got the Young Bucks against Jurassic Express. I was expecting more out of this. Like, I thought the Young Bucks were going to be 100% clearly the bad guys. Or a beatdown or something, but it was really just the Young Bucks winning it was an alright match, but I just wanted something big to happen out of it.
Yeah, they kind of they did more of the heelish stuff on Dynamite. So yeah, I was surprised too. They should have did more.
Again, like, the match itself was okay, but with this one, like, in my mind, and this is my own fault, obviously, I had hyped up something big was going to happen. And there was a couple things with this show where it was like, oh, something crazy is going to happen. And it didn't, and it was kind of a letdown, but that's my fault. Or you could blame AEW and be like, they led me on. How dare they?
Yes. So the 21-man casino battle royale there.
Yes. So I think we both agreed on this one. The worst thing about this match is starting with 5 people in a battle royal, where it's just an odd number and it just feels weird.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something weird about it. The only thing I liked about this match was Hobbs.
Yeah, he
The
got.
thing I didn't like, I almost saw a guy break his neck. I didn't like that. I could have done without that.
Yeah, when Sydal came out.
Yeah.
So things that were notable. Hobbs obviously looked really strong on this, and he actually followed up with a win on Dynamite.
Yep.
And I don't know what I was hoping his finisher would be. I hope it's not the Oklahoma Stampede thing, Because he's going to really have
buster?
to. Huh?
So he
No.
doesn't have a spine buster?
I mean, he does a spine. His spine buster is good, but the way he finished the guy on Dark, it's the hold him like a power slam, run him into the turnbuckles, and then hit him with a power slam. Basically, it's like what Dr. Death used to do. Basically, I'm not a fan. I wanted big spine buster or power. If you're a wrestler and you do a power bomb as your finisher right now, because no one's really doing it for the most part, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's the best thing ever. Until we have everybody doing power bombs, and I'll be like, I can't believe everybody's doing power bombs. I'm an old man, and then I'll go outside. But yeah, so we had our boy Hobbs doing good. He's not literally our boy, but I feel like we are doing our best to will him on through our thoughts and desires.
Yes.
The other thing to be noted here, I guess, is the whole Darby, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage thing, because that got crazy real quick.
Yes.
So, because they pulled out like they pulled out the body bag, and we were both like, "Oh, okay." And then I was like, "Well, I guess they're going to stick him in the body bag," but I didn't know what they were going to do with it.
Yeah.
So I'll let you do the so to say the color on this one as to what happens next.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking, why? For one thing, they poured like thumbtacks.
Yeah, they pull out the thumbtacks,
and I'm like, okay, that serves no. And then they just like Cage's power bombs out of the ring, and I'm like,
well, sometimes it's about sending a message.
Oh, I'm really going to kill this guy.
Yeah. Well, because we're sitting there and I'm like, oh, they got thumbtacks. Oh, no. They're putting it inside the... I was like, I hope those are fake thumbtacks because we're not going to see if they're actually going into him. So those could just be like silver beads, and that'd be okay. Yes. But then you see the other wrestlers avoiding the thumbtacks that spilled, and you're like, oh, man, those are real thumbtacks that they had him in. And then when he's in the body bag, the reverse Cage powerbomb, instead of into the ring, it's out of the ring to eliminate him. Like, man.
So I was thinking, thank God he's in that body bag, because I don't want to see any like bones popping out of his body.
That. I mean, you could take a powerbomb in a body bag pretty safely. However, being launched through the air 7 feet, or however far he went, the landing becomes a lot more questionable. It's like you can't see anything, so you don't know. I mean, it's a heck of a visual. I will say that, because I maybe somewhere on the indies back in the day or something, or some violent backyard crap wrestling, this has been done, but I've never seen anything quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking back to ECW. I don't think ECW did something like that, so, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to skip a little bit ahead here.
So anyway,
obviously, people are knocking each other out. Matt Sydal, what are the odds of the newest person on the roster, yet again, being the last entrant? That is some crazy statistics, for sure.
Sure.
But poor Matt Sydal, which I'm almost certain was Evan Bourne in WWE. He basically comes out, everything's set up for him to hit his shooting star, which he has a very good one. And out of the hundreds and hundreds of times he's done this with no issues, this is the one time that he slips. And
well, he's never wrestled in the swamp before.
Yeah, for real. I think they said on Dynamite the ring temperature was actually 117.
Sure.
That sounds... And it's humid as well. It's not like a dry heat. It's a humid heat.
Yeah.
So anyone doing anything, I'm good for them. So that sucks that he fell. But, I mean, he'll recover from that fine. It's just something that people will remember. Fortunately, he hit in such a way where he kind of landed, I guess, flat as opposed to on his head. So, which you alluded to, like you almost saw someone die, basically. So, I'm going to hop to the end here and talk about Jake Roberts and his weird bag that he kept just holding the bag at Eddie Kingston over and over.
Yeah,
Like,
that
look at
part-
this bag. Look at this bag. Be scared.
Yes.
Because at one point, Eddie Kingston was actually like, get that away from me. But it sounded more like real life. Like, dude, stop.
You are aggravating me. You're not scaring me. You're just aggravating me.
This is super annoying. If you could just quit for a minute. I'm in the middle of something here. But it looks like Kingston actually went in between the ropes, because he brings that up on Dynamite. Because Archer is technically the winner, but it looks like, I'm assuming they're going to do something between him and Kingston, or Kingston's going to bring up that he didn't lose and get a title shot somehow.
Yeah.
So let's see. But were you happy to see Archer win this, or are you worried that he won this?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about
that
this.
makes me think that you're worried.
This whole battle royal, I wasn't into. I'm just like, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
They did better than I thought it would be. I expected to not be entertained at all and just think that it was a mess the whole time. But they did enough stuff to make me not regret watching it, I guess you could say. Battle royal, the way they do it, it's just such a weird thing. It needs something like, or just do a Royal Rumble. I think we've said that too. Like, that's fine.
Yep.
So the next match, what a mess. Broken rules match. So we spent 5 minutes trying to figure out, because I was convinced at one point that the reason they had the weird merch table set up is because actually Hardy had something in his hands that was like a padding that he had behind his head, but you wouldn't be able to tell because of all the other stuff. Obviously, that was not the case once I saw another replay. But this whole thing went sideways pretty much immediately. Hardy, flash forward to them saying, apparently he didn't have a concussion or anything, but he was 100% knocked out.
He looked a little woozy there, a little punch drunk.
Everybody is super mad that they initially canceled the match, but then they said that Dr. Sampson said he was okay to finish it out. I mean, he didn't really do anything at that point, except he climbed up the scaffolding, which was kind of sketchy, and then knocked Sammy off, and that was basically the end of it. But I don't know. It seems like they added that stipulation that if he loses, he's got to leave AEW. So I understand that for whatever reason they added that, and that probably led to the whole disaster of this thing. But it definitely seems weird that they allowed him to finish it.
I don't know.
Right. But, I mean, 100% Hardy is going to be like, oh, no, I'm fine. Let me finish it. Like, that's what wrestlers do. You have to protect them from themselves is basically what goes on, it seems like. But, fortunately, this had an okay ending where Hardy is, from what we can tell, okay. And, crisis averted. Scary to think, though, because, I mean, it looked real bad for a second or two there. Yeah. And Aubrey, you could tell that she was worried, and that was not what should be going on.
To Sammy's credit, though, he kept it going.
Well, yeah, like, that's got to be a hard spot, but I would say these two should never, ever touch each other ever again, because they are cursed.
It seems like they were just a good dance partner.
Yeah, like, they're both very talented, but I don't, like, for whatever it is, something just goes wrong. And I don't think it's Sammy being bad or anything like. The chair thing was obviously just things went haywire. This is another thing where it could have been Hardy raised the scissor lift higher than they had intended. Because, could be that.
Well, I mean, I've heard Jericho and I've heard Shawn Michaels all say in, like, interviews, like, sometimes you just don't have, for whatever reason, you just don't have chemistry with the person. So
or things just go bad, and that was this. So we got the NWA champion Thunder Rosa against Shida. What do you think of this one?
I I liked the match. I didn't like how it ended, but
Right. Yeah, I really thought they should let Thunder Rosa win, but I completely understand that you don't want your champion losing to another company, but at the same time, if the title would have changed, my thought would have been, well, AEW's really showing that they're willing to work with NWA, like,
sure,
because there's nothing guaranteed, but we're willing to let your champion take our belt. And then I would assume something, there would be back and forth there. But
yeah,
either way, I think next week, Thunder Rosa is actually going to defend the NWA Women's title on Dynamite. So,
yeah.
But overall, this was a pretty good match. Not surprised. Sheeta seems to always have good matches with people. Thunder Rosa, from the little bit that I've seen of her, seems very competent in ring. So, let me see here. But yeah, anything else to add to that one?
No, I mean, other than the like I said, other than the how it ended, I liked it. So.
Or if it would have been like, I don't know, that might have been a case to have like a roll up pin or a double count out or a double knockout or something, maybe, just to.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that you pretty much know with AEW you're getting a finish to the match. Like, there's not a lot of screwy finishes, so I guess I would prefer it that way. But if there would have been, or a time limit draw would have been good.
Yeah.
So we had Kip Sabian and Penelope are going to have their best man. My guess was Brock Lesnar, because Brock really wanted to go back to Beast Box, mariachi band Brock, and have fun. Turns out that I was wrong. I can't believe it.
Sure.
So they did. We'll talk about that here in a second when we get to Dynamite, I guess. This big 8-man Dark Order Nightmare Family thing. End result is Nightmare Family wins, but it looks like something bad is going to be happening to Colt Cabana, is my guess.
It's funny in the podcast last week, because I like I said, I listened to it this morning.
Yeah.
You're like, there is no way the Dark Order is losing this match.
Right. Well, and I didn't think there was. I will say, for the way for them to lose, though, where it's basically set up for them to win and Colt actually screws it up, is a clever way to have them lose and at the same time not look that bad for it, if that makes any sense. Like, obviously they lost, but it was because Colt did something stupid and it sets up a story there.
Yeah.
So, good for them, because usually I can think of an awful lot of scenarios. I mean, I've watched wrestling my whole life, so there's not a lot that I haven't seen. Never occurred to me for a second that something like that would happen. But they've built it up where Brody kept giving Cabana the pin after hitting it, and this time Colt wanted to do a moonsault for some reason.
Yeah.
And then lost it. So I can't wait for Mr. Brody to destroy Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
I assume that's what's going to happen.
Let's
see here. So I'm going to skip the Dustin promo altogether. Tag match. Another thing where I thought something big was going to happen. I mean, FTR won the titles, so that is big. But I thought there'd be some shenanigans with the Bucks or a blow up between Kenny and Paige. But that almost happened, but then nothing happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, Kenny, he did. I've been waiting for it, and he finally hit Hangman. And I was like, yes, the team is broken up.
Oh, like where they Hangman went for the thing, they ducked it, and then he ended up with the V trigger.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like, did you like the match in general?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, FTR is good. Kenny and Hangman are a very good tag team as well. And then, I mean, the big thing, though, it felt like to me, is the end of the match. Like, the story that continues, because you got FTR's got the belts, which is big. But, like, when Hangman went to lean on Kenny, basically, and he just let him hit.
Yeah.
And then Kenny freaking out, almost hitting him with the weird TV stand table or whatever they had there.
Yeah,
it was weird. Like, I have one of those in my living room. I was like, that would hurt. But
Well, yeah, I was thinking, I was like, if he hits that, that's probably going to hurt him pretty badly. Cause
Yeah,
that looks like
I would take a chair over that thing, whatever it was, the TV dinner tray. But yeah, so Kenny like freaks out and drives without the bucks, talking about a clean break, and gets into an SUV that he conveniently had ready for him. So if he won, was he going to go do whatever Kenny Omega does? Go play some Final Fantasy?
Maybe that's what he's going to do.
Things that you think of after the fact, but obviously it was just showing that he was mad, and then he's been posting pictures of Mr. Clean and stuff on Instagram, apparently. But yeah, so I mean, good match.
Yeah.
Looks like we're leading to something with Kenny and Hangman in the single division, is what you would think there.
Thank God.
All right. Mimosa Mayhem, good or bad?
I thought it was kind of stupid.
I liked it.
I didn't. I mean,
No, I'm not going to say it was like a classic or anything like that, but as far as like a weird stipulation, it actually was a fairly easy one to play out, where it's like, oh, I don't want to get knocked into this thing. Easy enough. It doesn't intrude into the rest of the match all weird, other than it is weird that a 15-to-1 ratio mimosa on both sides of the ring. I just want to point out that I called the finish 100% when we did the predictions of the orange punch. I just called it a Superman punch to win it, but I'm sure pretty much anyone making a prediction, if you had Cassidy winning, that they also made that prediction. So, but yeah, like I was entertained by it. What's that?
I've said from the beginning, I have not been into this feud since the beginning of COVID. I don't know. I can't get into it.
Right. Well, you like a more serious Jericho as well, and this is not super serious Jericho.
Sure.
But I've enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed it more than you, and I was fine with that. So, because to me, it was more getting Orange Cassidy into more of an actual normal wrestler. And like transitioning from 100% gimmick to somewhere in the middle, I would assume. So world title match. How'd you feel about it?
Didn't like it either.
Really?
No.
Was it because John Moxley cheated to win?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just thought MJF should have won this.
I mean, he might still. Like, he has an injunction in. Because he technically should have left with the belt. Yeah.
I mean, Moxley cheated, so he was definitely more the heelish character. I understand they're kind of molding it. They're kind of making him kind of like a Stone Cold type character. I get it.
Right.
I don't know. I don't get
this one, it's just weird, because when you have a rule like that, and it's like, well, the referee didn't see it. Well, everyone else did.
Yes.
Like, that's one of those things that, it's pro wrestling, but at the same time, come on. So maybe there'll be more to go with that.
If you are portraying your company, which AEW is, as a more by the rules type company, unlike other wrestling organizations,
right?
Everyone knows Tony Khan is in the back
watching
this.
Yes.
So that's my biggest problem.
Yeah, it'd be real. I'm interested if they will do more. If they drop it and that's the end of it, I'll actually be kind of disappointed about it. Now, if they do something more, even if the end result is only MJF gets another title shot, that's fine. Like, do something with technically, because MJF was trying to cheat, but it did not. He did not actually cheat. Moxley, by the rules of the match, 100% cheated. So, but yeah. So let me see here. So we're gonna go. But that ended the pay-per-view. Sounds like I liked it a little bit more than you did, but
yes, I would say that's probably true.
All right, so I'm pulling up Dynamite real quick.
Okay.
Let's see here. We got
now people really enjoyed this Dynamite. I mean, I didn't think it was bad Dynamite, but
Yeah.
I didn't think it was the greatest Dynamite ever. So I don't
I was the
understand.
same one. I mean, ratings indicate that this was one of the best Dynamites ever for sure, because they broke
Sure.
1 million with it.
Yeah.
You know, I never wanted to talk about ratings, but knowing like the viewership, not necessarily like who beat who, but just like, oh, AEW's like hitting 1 million. That seems like a big number. 900,000 seems like a big number. I just like we mention it, but I just like to know that NXT and AEW are both doing good, so that they're not going to disappear.
Sure.
Even though I'm not like watching a ton of NXT, I still like it to be there.
Well, yeah, you don't want your show drawing, 100,000 or something like
Right.
that. Like, so
Like now, at the same time, it's almost like a weird car crash thing where you see like Raw's losing ratings, and it's like,
yeah,
oh, a lot of what what they do on Raw, I don't really like. Maybe this will make them change. So you kind of want something bad to happen, and it's
sure.
probably not the right mentality, but it's like, well, something's got to happen to get a change, and obviously that's being very selfish that I want something different where people might love what's going on, but it doesn't seem like the majority of people feel that way either. So
Hey, man, they're the WCW of 2020.
right, I mean, really, I just want storylines that interest me. And if it ends up where it's like, oh, well, I'll watch Raw till this happens, I'll watch Dynamite till this happens, like, that's fine. But they gotta go a ways at this point. We failed to mention Jim Ross making a fairly or semi-lewd comment about Anna Jay and a wardrobe malfunction. That got him a lot of... Because we looked at each other like, that was kind of creepy.
I felt like the King was there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it
this
felt
was
like a bygone era.
1999.
Like, it wasn't the worst thing. And I get, JR is a guy that was drinking or something. I don't know what was going on there. Anna Jay is an attractive lady. But it it really felt weird when he said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially nowadays, like, where it's, I don't know. It was so weird. Like, he said a few things that were weird throughout the, like, he does that all the time.
Has.
But that one was one of those ones where it's like, ooh.
Well, and when he says something weird, it's out of nowhere. It's like, why
Like,
why would you say that?
Do you have like adult senior ADHD or something like that?
So yeah, I mean, it's weird.
So are you used to calling Pentagon Penta L0M?
No, they need to shorten it. The Penta.
I can handle Penta L0. I just don't. I'm never going to say the M. So there you go. Yeah, they had like this big 4, or I guess it'd be considered an 8-man tag. It was entertaining, but I wasn't into it at all.
Same.
So yeah, so they had that. It looks like they were playing up some kind of fight between the Lucha Bros, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
This
to
whole thing-
further Eddie Kingston or if that's to do something with them.
I literally said, "This is stupid. What are we doing?"
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, like, I don't want to see the Lucha Bros fight each other in no cell doing Zero Miedo over and over.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I like the Lucha Bros, but I swear, I feel like they just don't sell. They lay down for a while and then they get back up.
That's because they need they need their little British friend, as Kingston said.
Yes. But either way, like, I don't want to see them like feud against each other. Like, if they're gonna go like and do singles, because Penta and Phoenix have both been singles wrestlers, like, that's fine, but you don't have to break up the tag team.
No.
Now, granted, tag team breakups aren't the normal in AEW, but in my mind, all tag team wrestling is all under the same umbrella for some reason, and it's like, I'm just so tired of tag teams being broken up even though this would be like a first. Well, I guess Kenny and Hangman technically, but yeah, like I don't want to see this. It's like you don't want to see the Hardy Boys against each other, for the most part.
Old WWE did.
Yeah, and it was awful every time.
Yes.
Is what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
So we get a weird standing in the rain promo with Jake the Snake and Lance.
I am just now accepting anytime I see Jake the Snake and Lance Archer, I'm just going to assume it's weird, and I'm just going to go with it because
that's what happens.
They're just two weirdos. I mean, that's the only thing I can explain about these guys.
Which, I mean, if you just take it as it is, then that's not so bad. What do you think? Because during All Out, we were both laughing because the shirt Jake the Snake was wearing was like, is that a snakeskin shirt? What is he wearing? And then in this promo, he has another weird. I honestly thought at one point, I was like, is that a T-shirt? And he just got like some snakeskin contact paper and cut out some and put it on the front. What is this guy doing?
I don't know. I'm kind of digging that Jake the Snake is like just a weirdo. He just
crazy old guy.
He's having Lance Archer right on him on his body. He's yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I'm along for the ride because Archer is awesome. Him and Moxley, assuming it is him and Moxley, it'll be a pretty good match. I imagine they will beat the tar out of each other. For sure. So Hardy came out, had an announcement. I kept waiting for him to get jumped.
Yeah, I was waiting for that too.
Like the way he walked out of the ring, I was like, "Oh, Sammy's showing up and hitting him again." I was like, "Please don't." But
no, I think Hardy's going to rest for a little bit and probably restart.
Yeah, like and get far away from Sammy, whatever he does, because I don't want him to die.
Yes.
So they give us a Orange Cassidy and it's Angelico. I'm just gonna say it that way. But he had Jack Evans with him. I like seeing the submission style that he does because it's crazy and it's at this point it's unique. Like he can do all kinds of crazy flying stuff, but I'd rather watch the actual submissions and all that stuff myself.
Yeah. They're just I don't know the hybrid too.
They're good. Like the thing is, they're good, but I just can't get into them for the most part. So so with this match, like he basically jumps Cassidy, so they don't do like the initial Orange Cassidy shtick, I guess you could say. But I mean, end result is I guess they're calling it the Orange Punch. I feel like they should call it Orange Crush. Right? Would that might be a copyright issue doing it that way, but either way, we get some more Santana and Ortiz jumping him. I guess it's been built that we're gonna get Ortiz and Santana against the Best Friends in the parking lot brawl that was supposed to happen like months ago. It just never did.
Yeah. Just end this and let Santana Ortiz move on to somebody else. I mean,
yeah, please. Yeah, because I'm just tired of it. I can't get into Best Friends as much as you are.
Yeah, I mean, I am quite the bandwagoner for these guys.
I believe Mark is the correct term.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're enjoying it, but I'm past it. Young Bucks, the super kick party. Poor Marvez got fined $5,000 whole dollars.
Yeah,
I feel like that is a nothing fine, knowing that they are EVPs.
Yes. I'm like, I don't care if you super kick Alex Marvez. I just don't. So.
It's weird that it's one of those, like when they super kick Marco during the All Out match. It's like, well, that's a face move, right? Super kicking Marco. So is that supposed to be? Same thing with Marv. A lot of people don't like Marvez, so it's like, is that really a bad guy thing? Because there's people who are cheering right now.
So if you want sympathy for me, if they would have kicked like Dasha, If they would have let Ziggler
Right.
kicked her, okay, I would be like, okay, that's a heel move right there.
Right. This one, you're like, I don't know if this is good or bad. You're like, I could go
Yes.
either way.
Exactly.
So we got the best man reveal. I can only tell you how disappointed I was that it was not Brock Lesnar. So I was wrong.
Yes.
But we get Miro. Miro Day, actually.
When
With
Miro came
blonde
out,
hair.
I'm just like, okay, get Kip and Sabian out.
Like-
I understand. I think all this was just basically their way of trying to bring Miro in, but
Well, I think they were making a little bit of fun of like a wedding angle because of the storyline with him and Bobby Lashley and Lana and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that stupid angle. Okay. yeah.
Honestly, I really did too. So I saw someone point it out, obviously, and then I was like, that 100% makes sense. But that story was so bad that my mind erased it.
Yes, I totally forgot about it. But okay.
So now
I get it now.
makes it, yeah, right. Now it's like, oh, I get it now. But yeah, it didn't occur to me at all. And we're going to get Miro on Jericho's podcast saying the same thing that everyone who leaves WWE says, where they had no creativity, basically, that they could do.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
They have an old man running it that.
right,
Still
it's
thinks
going to be, the same thing over and over. But I get it. Like, if you're in wrestling for the art of it or to be creative and you're being stifled, it's going to drive you crazy. And it seems like the people that are leaving, for the most part, okay, I'm thinking of Moxley and Brody Lee for sure. They have shown that they are capable of being entertaining in a better way. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Miro's really good, I think. So I think they'll do whatever they're going to do with this, and then I'm sure he'll be fine from there. Or maybe we'll find out that Miro is just not entertaining except for in the ring. But I'm all for it. So
Yeah. I think he'll do good.
Poor Adam Page. Were you sad watching this interview with Tony Schiavone?
No, because I'm just laughing. I'm just like, because he's just like, I want to try to get the tag team back together, and then Kenny Omega's like, no, we're done. I'm moving on. So
He gave a year. I do like though they interviewed them separately. Like Hangman just wants to try, and Kitty is
Yes.
done with it. So this is just going to lead to like Adam Page is going to become like that sad dog that. Did you ever see Futurama where Fry's dog
Yes.
is waiting for him?
yes,
We're going to get to that point at some juncture here with Hangman before he finally gets on the uptick.
yeah.
I long-term prediction is he's going to take the belt from Brody Lee. That's my guess.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how long it's going to take to get but
Yes.
that's my guess.
Yeah, I can see him getting the belt, whichever belt, TNT or
Yeah.
the championship, and then I think Kenny will take it from him.
It would be interesting to give him the TNT title, and then Kenny takes it from him, and then actually and Kenny takes it, like, just, even if he dominates him, I think that might be okay, and then have Hangman eventually get the world title, and then you have the story of Kenny trying to take that from him as well, because this all assumes that Kenny goes insane and just wants to ruin Adam Page for some reason.
Yeah.
But that could be a good story. Now, I shared this with you, but I want to say it on the podcast, and I also tweeted it, and it got no traction, but it's a brilliant idea, is that since there's clearly going to be a feud with Dark Order and Hangman, that Mr. Brody should send Evil Uno with fertilizer to Adam Page's house, and while he sleeps, Evil Uno should super fertilize his yard so that it grows out of control. And since Hangman does not have his new lawnmower that he wanted, it will be very difficult for him to manage his yard.
Yes.
Just psychological warfare. And the fact that on BTE, seeing Evil Uno in full gear and mask and everything, pushing like one of those fertilizer caddies would be hilarious. Like in the cover of Night.
Sure.
Let's see. I guess Jericho and Hager are a tag team now.
Sure. Yeah. I guess.
All right, moving on. MJF fired everybody, and apparently he pays Wardlow, not Tony Khan.
Apparently, yes.
I don't know if there was ever an announcement that Wardlow is All Elite. I kind of want to go back and find out, because if they never did that, then very clever of them for a long-term thought.
Yeah.
That's basically all I have there. But people already... Wardlow's had basically like 2 matches, right? 3 if you count the tag team match.
Yeah.
So, but he seems like a big deal. And he doesn't talk. He's only wrestled a few times.
Yes. It looks like they're getting more of they're giving him some character development.
Yeah. So they've
BTE
taken their
some
time.
Weird character. BTE gave him weird character development, but
Yes. Well, we've seen with Dark Order, weird character development can win you over. And like you were saying
Sure.
with Jake and Archer, where you're like, you know what? They're just weirdos, and I'm just going to take it as they're being weirdos.
Sure.
So we had the FTR celebration. They're just jerks to everybody, and for whatever reason, they're going to fight Jurassic Express in a non-title match.
Yep.
The end.
Yeah.
If you've seen a segment like this, it's basically what it was. We did get more of Ricky Darby Allin cosplay,
Yes.
which I've grown to like an awful lot. So like this is like for a feud that's been going on as long as this one feels like it has. They haven't really had as many matches as I'm used to still. Like I'm still used to the WWE style where they would have had a match every single week.
Yeah.
Where this, their paths keep crossing, but it just doesn't. There's not been something where it's like, oh, it's a singles one-on-one match that should be the end of it. What do you think? So this has nothing to do about that because I thought the segment was fine. Do you like Ricky Stark's actual music?
Yeah, I do.
It's super catchy. I was humming it all of Thursday, and I couldn't stop, and it made me mad.
Did you stop and do the dance with it?
I did like the strum on the guitar. I did that.
Yes.
I didn't do the absolute pose. So
Yes.
which would be hilarious.
Yes.
Just randomly see me do that.
Yes.
I might have to do that now if I'm around you, just at a random time. We got yeah, it's fun. Like I don't know if he's always had that music or if he got that for AEW music or what, but it's super catchy.
Yep, I agree.
Nyla Rose and Tay.
Yep.
This was a fight. It felt like that Nyla won.
Sure. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it was good. Like, I mean, I didn't hate it. I think this leads to her going Dark Order, maybe, because they talk to her later on.
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah. Then we get the Jim Ross Kenny Omega interview, where he's definitely not going to be a tag team anymore.
Yes.
So,
And the
then
fans clapped. Did you hear how they clapped when he said that?
Well, because people want Kenny Omega to be a singles wrestler.
Yeah.
I guess on October 14th, the Dynamite anniversary, is when we're going to get the Moxley Murderhawk match. Assuming nothing changes between now and then. And then we got our big main event here. So, what did you think? Because we haven't actually talked about this match at all. What do you think of this match?
I mean, I thought it was all right. I did
I
not
was
think
surprised.
he was going to win it.
Right. Yeah, I didn't either. Now, towards the end, like it seems like it's some of the big matches where you're pretty sure you know who's going to win. They actually had me for a second where I was like, what craziness would they, like, where my brain is trying to figure out a story that makes sense, that doesn't, like what I mean? Like, where you're like, well, where would they possibly go if they do this? Like, I had one of those moments towards the very end of this one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like, all right, Dustin's going to lose this. I mean,
Right.
it's just, yeah.
But either way, like, the match itself, I was pretty into it. I thought it was better of a match than I thought it was going to be. I would like to point out, like, towards the end, Dustin does, like, the Hurricane Rana and, like, the dive and all that. But they really didn't do a lot other than just beat the crap out of each other with, like, normal stuff the majority of the match. But it was still entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
So, some people would say dinosaurs are sometimes more energetic than they need to be, if you catch my drift. I'm saying Luchasaurus should stop doing so many flips. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think...
Because it's that impressive when he does it all the time.
I think they should have told Luchasaurus, so here, watch this match. This is how big men are supposed to do it. So,
and see where Dustin does the crazy athletic move that you're not expecting, but it's actually a surprise?
yes.
Yeah, there you go. I like that I've just grown to be irritated by Luchasaurus. Like, I don't dislike him, but it just makes me...
Now you got to do what most people do on Twitter: harass the guy.
Oh yeah, I need to figure out where he lives and go set his house on fire.
Yeah,
leave a note like, this is because I think you do too many flippy things.
Yes, it's like, what is wrong with you?
Oh man, sorry, I was writing something down here for a time cue. But yeah, so like Brody Lee wins. They drag out QT. It looked like they were trying to say that Colt Cabana was behind that to bring a gift to Mr. Brody, but commentary didn't put that over at all.
Okay, I didn't get that at all either. So
yeah, because basically it was because Colt like had his hands out and pointed at QT and pointed like at Mr. Brody's feet. So I took that to be like, look, I'm sorry I messed up. I brought you QT Marshall. We kicked the crap out of him. All 17 of us.
Yes. Here's QT Marshall. Right here. Bam.
You're like, you can hit him some more if you'd like. But yeah. So they also did some weird Cody Rhodes announcement where he's going to be a judge on some TV show, but I don't care. So...
No. Pretty much when they came on, I just turned it off because I'm like, yeah.
Well, if it was like a wrestling announcement, I would have been interested. Or if he would have been like, I'm going to be playing this video game, I'd probably care. But
Sure.
game show. Now, give me a game show like The Miz
game show with
has.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I'll take The Miz's game show where people just get obliterated into water like it's Wipeout.
Sure. Yeah.
I love those shows. I don't know why. That, MXC, anything like that, I'll watch it. I'll cringe because I'm always worried that people are getting hurt, but it's super awesome.
Sure.
So, all right. Did you watch any NXT stuff? Did you see where Balor is the new champ?
Yeah.
Sounds like a no. My only issue with the last 2 weeks at NXT, I hate Iron Man matches ending in an actual draw. And that's what they did. I understand they did it to set up something, but just that shouldn't be a possible outcome. It seems stupid to me.
I kind of stopped caring about Balor. When he was feuding with the Fiend,
and then he got obliterated.
Only if there was something that Balor could have used to counteract with the Fiend, they could have had actually like a feud going on. But
yeah, but you can't have the Demon against the Fiend in the first match.
That's fine. That's why you built the feud up. I'm just saying.
That maybe Balor shouldn't have been the first guy.
Just saying.
But the Fiend was paying him back because Bray Wyatt got obliterated by the Demon. So you can go but yeah, like the whole thing was weird. I think it was just a way to get Balor off TV and then send him to NXT.
Sure.
But Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch much else of it because they put the world title match that I wanted to see on first. So as soon as that was over, I was like, oh, I'm done.
Sure.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
What
I
else?
did see on some clips where, and I don't even remember this at all. So the NWO was taunting Stone Cold, okay?
Yeah.
And Kevin Nash was like this laying into Stone Cold. And Stone Cold turned around and Kevin Nash was like, he has a gun, he has a gun. And Stone Cold shoots it, and then the clip ends. So I don't know how that, I don't remember that at all.
What?
Yes.
Was that someone
No.
like edited something together?
No, well, I was reading
This was like
comments on it.
before Austin fought Scott Hall at WrestleMania?
I guess. I don't know. It was, the clip didn't tell me much. It was just they were dogging Stone Cold, and he turns around and Kevin Nash is like, he has a gun, and you see Austin pull the trigger. The comments said that it was a net gun, so I don't know. I don't remember anything about this. So
Oh. I think
that's why I'm telling you.
I know. Okay, I think I know. Yeah, it was like one of those like, because he did a thing with DX where he hunted DX. Like I think he caught X-Pac or something in like a tree snare, but it was like just inside the arena.
Yeah.
I'll try to find that and send a link to you because it was hilarious. But like it was on a SmackDown and like the whole night he was like treating them like game that he was hunting. So.
Gotcha. I don't know, but I was like, did McMahon approve like a gun angle here where Austin is shooting people? I mean, I can see.
Well, because going back to the Pillman thing.
Before. Yes, I can see it happening, but I was like, really, he didn't do that, did he?
I'll have to look that up because I don't remember that. Ooh, man, I'm tired. I guess, or I'm yawning.
Sounds like Ross is tired, so I think we just need to end this.
All right. I'm going to hit our outro. Hey, you can always check us out at agonyofpositivity.com. You can use that. There's not much there, but if you want to send us an email anonymously, you can basically use the page to do that, to send us comments or whatever, at the AOP podcast for Twitter.
Yep.
Those are probably
The
your best
YouTubes.
bet. Yeah, we got YouTube. You got to search. It's a pain. We haven't put
ring
anything
that bell.
exciting up there in a while. Did you say ring that bell?
Ring that bell. I mean, that's why I hear in every video I
Smash
see.
that like button. Subscribe. Yeah, we don't
Ring that
usually
bell.
pander that. We are the worst at self promotion, for sure.
You know, hey.
We rely on word of mouth. So everyone in Botswana currently, tell all your other friends in Botswana or California.
Yes.
You know, wherever.
In California, I feel sorry for you. I pray that things get better for you guys, because my God.
Not that orange isn't a fantastic color for a sky, but it shouldn't be like that in the middle of the day or at 4 in the morning.
I pray that things get better for you in 2020. So.
Yes, for sure. All right, I'm going to hit the outro button now. There's no stopping.
Have a good week.